Dougie, your travels in India and Kenya, the work that you've done there, the varied work, what are you currently focusing your energies on today?
Oh, right, okay. Well, I think to complete the book that I'm doing, actually to write another one, but to complete the one on my studies for my lectures in India, I want to get that out, as I've said, in October. What with that, I'll be doing more of my artwork.
Yes.
I want to do that.
It's fantastic, really amazing work that you've done, and we've got that on the website for people to see and share as well.
Yeah. It's a very special subject matter that I really believe I could write more about that, because this for me, as I've mentioned before, is something that's within everybody. I mean, when people say, yes, but you were an architect all your life, but believe me, it's not the same thing. I mean, you wouldn't understand, but this sort of thing has an aerial perspective where you have to get it with tones of light, and you're creating a depth to a picture. Architecture, you can create perspective, be that on CAD or whether you're working with line work. It's something that you will always be able to use some creativity. That's what architecture is about. Playing with new design and form and shapes and materials. But landscape is a different thing altogether. It comes from within. I mean, these were my first ever landscapes. I didn't know what paint to buy. I went up to Rowney's in London. I've written about that in my book quite a lot, actually. I think I dwelt on art a little bit too much in my book, but it was important to me, and it was just an unfoldment. That dear lady that I write about, Florence, she's now 90 odd. But once on my little spiritual journey, which was the beginnings of trying to understand my life with all that domestic mayhem I'd been through, she said to me, you know, Dougie, something's telling me in my heart you should paint pictures. I don't know why she said that, but she was right.
She was.
And off I went. I bought these large canvases at Rowney's in London. I didn't really know what brushes or pigment to buy. And I just sat in front of a plain canvas. So I think it's in everybody. There was no sketches, no photographs.
No, it's absolutely incredible, and I'm just so amazed every time you tell the story that you start with a blank canvas. You didn't even have any scene. It was all in your head.
Shirley. No, absolutely not. That to me would have been. I used to sit in little woodland places and by streams when I was on my own. It was just a lovely place to be. And but I think if I'd have made those sketches, and I did do some sketches, that was the precious moment. Then to transfer that onto a canvas, well, anybody can do that. That's just copying, although it'd be my work, but it would be second hand. My feelings of joy were there when I was sitting in those places in lovely pastoral scenes. I used to find little squirrels and birds would come nearby. Just getting into that quietness, almost becoming at one with life, where everybody seems to trust everybody else, each other. It was lovely. I had birds close by. It all sounds a little bit sort of hairy-fairy and romantic. And I think if you knew me better, you'd know I'm not really that sort of a guy. It was something wonderful happening. And these pictures unfolded like a story. I was in those places. I was actually there, doing it, dwelling there, in those little places, little cottage at the back. That was my little home in my dream world.
The detail on them is amazing. You could spend quite a long time just looking at all the little tiny hidden bits and pieces you've put into the photo, into the artwork. So it's really wonderful.
Yeah. Well, it was pure joy. As I say, it was a place where I actually lived. Interesting, when I was doing it, I felt so much part of the scene. Excuse me, Shirley. There was a couple of places where I put a little tiny foxcott and some little butterflies, and I was the only one that knew where they were. But that was really interesting to me when people looked at my work and said, "Oh, this is really good, Dougie," and I would mention these little secrets. They all wanted to know where they were. Isn't that strange? Isn't that strange? Maybe they were looking for something secret in some nice place. I don't know, but I think that was quite an important point for me. Yeah, so that's art. I could talk forever about art because I think it's there. The most important thing to finish out of a talk on my talk, perhaps I talk too much, I don't know, is that I really want to make it very clear that this is in everybody. It's inside everybody, same as music is there. It's in everybody, but you have to learn to tap into it with a bit of trust and understanding. Sometimes it comes about when you're having a bad time in life. You turn within more. When you're drifting along in life and it's all fine, everything's cool and nice, then you don't really need God or anything else, you know. But sometimes from adversity. I've written much about that in that book as well, adversity, what it can bring.
Yes.
Brought this to me. So there we are. Questions answered. Are you happy with that, Shirley?
I'm happy with that, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's my pleasure. Yeah.